Hello and welcome back. So we are just days away from the end of the year. And if you are like a lot of the people that I've been talking to, it feels like there's so much that's happening. It's almost like things are speeding up right now. And there's a lot of anticipation about the next year and about what you want to call in. And I'm talking to a lot of people about just want to get clear. And it feels like there's all this pressure and tension. And so when I was speaking with a couple of women this week, they're like, oh my gosh, I just want to be able to slow down. So, in honor of all those women that I've been speaking with this week, today we're going to be talking about 3 keys to slowing down and being more present. So, hi, I am Debbie Lichter, founder of Freedom Embodied Academy, and it is my absolute passion to help you to live free from whatever is holding you back and to truly shine your light so you can light up others. And what's really important about being able to slow down, it's an art, because even though it feels like life is moving so fast and there's more on your plate than ever, and with the new year, you want to line things up and there's all this kind of pressure that we put on ourselves. As my dear friend Jennifer always says, you got to slow down to speed up. That is such a big key as we move into 2019, to slow down, to speed up, because there is something that is so powerful about when we can just come back to center, when we can ground, when we can land, when we can be in that place where we're not reacting in life, but we're just simply responding, bringing it in and allowing it to find its way into our space, and then responding from that deeply aligned, authentic place. It's very, very, very important. And I know that I am not saying anything to you that you don't already know. So what I hear from a lot of the folks that I talk to is, I know I need to slow down. I know I need to be more present. I know I need to meditate, but I just have a really hard time sitting still. My mind is constantly going. So if you're one of those people who has a hard time sitting still, your mind is constantly going, then please just put mind chatter. Just put mind chatter in the comments, because I feel like that is a huge, huge thing. Hey, Bruce, good to see you. It's a huge thing, is this constant mind chatter that's happening. And so we know that we want to be more present. But what do we actually do? Well, that's what I want to share with you today. I want to dive into that with you because it happens all the time. It just happened to me. I was on the phone with my beloved, and then all of a sudden my mind said, oh, I got to wash the dishes. So I'm trying to, put the phone on mute, wash the dishes, and still be in this conversation. And he could feel it. And he said, hey, babe, you feel kind of distant right now. What's going on? And I called myself out. I said, oh my gosh, I just had a thought that I needed to also wash the dishes while I'm talking to you. I'm trying to multitask. And he could feel it. And this is so, so important because, we all do these little things. We're not wrong and bad. It's not like, oh my gosh, being, getting negative about yourself for, having these little slips. But I think where it becomes a beautiful access point for us is, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. What's going on in my space that all of a sudden I've prioritized washing my dishes over connecting with my beloved, and what's the cost? And so I invite you to just consider, what's the cost for you of not being present, for not being present in your life, for not being present for the people who matter most to you? Are you missing out on authentic connection? Are you missing out on authenticity in general because you're just so busy and you're just kind of like, just moving so fast that you don't really have a chance to just authentically connect with yourself? Are you missing out on sleep or on health? I mean, when we're going so fast, when things are so busy and our mind is always going, and we're in that constant obsessive, what do I have to do, or trying to figure things out, that is keeping us in a constant sympathetic state, where we're just in that constant, stress mode. And so is it actually impacting your health? And all this stuff is really, really important when we're talking about addictions, because addictions are those things, again, that we do to distract or numb ourselves from an underlying discomfort or dis-ease. And that when we try to stop doing, we find that we can't. And so if we are in go mode, if we're in that constant anxious feeling of like, oh, I've got to figure this out, or I've got to get this handled, or I've got to control this, or I've got to manage that, or my mind is always going and it's always chewing on something and I'm never able to rest, that's going to create a lot of discomfort and dis-ease inside of us. And that is going to eventually take us to just want to calm down. And oftentimes we will go to food or alcohol or something, TV, Netflix, something that just allows us, that forces us to be able to just calm down, just stop thinking so much. And so if you find yourself in that pattern, for some of us it's cigarettes, for some of us it is social media, for some of us it's gaming or gambling, or there's a million different things. But if you find yourself in one of those patterns, then it's particularly important for us to really, really talk about what to do instead, so that you can authentically come to a place of presence and authentic connection with you, and be able to authentically calm down inside of yourself, to slow down inside of yourself, so that you can get that feeling of ease and comfort and not go to one of the sabotage patterns that is holding you back. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first key that I want to share with you today is such a biggie. It's such a biggie. And this is, if you are somebody who says, I know I need to meditate, but my mind is constantly going, I can't sit still, I can't turn my head off, then my invitation for you is to get out of your head and to get into your body. Literally, just like take the elevator down a few floors, down, feeling your awareness go down your throat, down your chest, down your torso, down your belly, down all the way to your pelvis. And you can either rest at your pelvis, at the base of your pelvis, your pelvic floor, or you can go all the way down to the basement, to the soles of your feet, and just completely land yourself in your body. This is so, so important. And even as you listen to me talking about getting into your body, I invite you right now to just feel your feet in contact with the ground, or to feel your tailbone, to feel your pelvis, your hips sitting on your seat, to actually just bring your awareness down into your body. This is so, so important. It's going to actually just allow you to get present, to be here, to be right here. And here's the thing that I hear from a lot of people is that it's hard, or it's uncomfortable, or I don't feel good in my body. I'm in so much judgment of my body. I don't want to be inside of it, or I don't like the feelings inside of it. Because when we get present inside of our bodies, guess what? We get present to what is happening in this moment. And maybe what's happening in this moment is a lot of discomfort. And so how do we be with all of that? Well, what I love to do with the folks who I have an opportunity to work with one-on-one and in Freedom Embodied Academy is I love to find whatever that access point is for you. Hey, Jenna, so good to see you. I love to find whatever that access point is for you. So I remember speaking with a woman a couple years ago, a client of mine, who said, I'm so uncomfortable in my body that I can't. You're telling me to go in, you're telling me to take a breath inside of my body, and as soon as I go past my nostrils, I can't handle it. It's so uncomfortable. And it makes me want to go to the kitchen, go eat something. It makes me want to just get out of here. And so I said, okay, so can you just focus on how your skin is feeling in this moment? And she's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I said, okay. I said, can you focus on the soles of your feet in contact with the ground? And she said, yes, I can do that. It's like, great. And so that's what we did. And that's what she did for a couple of weeks. She just felt the soles of her feet in contact with the ground. And it was beautiful because a few weeks later, I spoke with her and it had graduated for her. So she was able then, by the time I spoke to her, she said, I'm able to sit in 10 minutes of quiet time and just be still. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is huge. That is so, so huge, because every moment, every minute that you're able to spend in quiet time, and it doesn't matter if your mind is going during quiet time. It really doesn't. Just like drop your attachment to what it's supposed to look like. Anytime you are in that discipline, in that committed daily discipline of getting quiet, it already has its benefits. Even if you don't think you're doing it right, it already has its benefits. And so it was so, so huge. So I invite you to find your access point for getting in your body. And if you don't have tools, I actually have, I've got a link that I can send you. I've got my five top presence practices. Happy to share it with you. If that's something that you want, then just put presence in the comments, and I will. I'll send you that link, and you can download it. It's just a quick reference sheet that will give you 5 top presence practices to allow you to do exactly what we're talking about today, to just have those go-to tools to get present in the moment, to be able to be more calm and more connected. And if you take nothing more from today's conversation and you just get those 5 top presence practices, I will, and you do them, I'm really, really excited for you, because I feel like that's going to be huge. And as I share that, there is a nugget of wisdom that I want to share with you at the end today. And so I do invite you to stick around for the whole conversation today, because we're going to be touching on something that I think is important for all of us to carry with us as we are in these first few exploring these first few weeks that are upon us in the new year. So that's number 1, is to get in your body. Number 2, which dovetails with number 1, is to be here now, is to just be here now. It is so easy to future trip and to start planning and projecting, especially as we look at the first few weeks of the new year. And I was just speaking with a client yesterday, and she's like, I printed out this whole thing that I'm supposed to do and write in every single section what I want, what my vision is, and get clear. And she's like, and it's just making me exhausted. I'm like, yeah, it sounds exhausting, because how can we project all of these things? Now, I do understand, and I do actually, I'm a fan of, having fun as you envision into what's possible for you this coming year. And as you look at December 2019, you say, gosh, I'm so honored and happy and grateful that all these incredible gifts have happened in my life. And you can reflect back on all those things. And I think there's so many beautiful ways that we can weave in our larger vision in such a fun, informing, life generating way. But when we are sitting in our heads and we're trying to figure out, and just notice my languaging, I'm trying to figure out what I should do or what the vision for it should be, and I'm not clear, that's when we create a lot of pressure on ourselves. And so what I'm going to invite all of us to do, and so I invite you to do, if it inspires you, is to just be here now. And just do the next thing right now. Because if you can bring all of yourself to this moment right now, it's going to illuminate that next step. So it's oftentimes not about what we think we need to do, but it's about just being able to do this thing that is clear for you in this moment. And as you just breathe that in, that you don't have to know all the steps. In fact, not knowing is a good thing. Not knowing right now is maybe the aim of what you're trying to achieve, so that you can just be here. Because here's the other thing too, is that this next step that you take, this next aligned action that you take, is going to inform the next step. And you probably can't even know what that next step should be. And if you sit there in a silo trying to figure out what that next step should be, it's not going to be that congruent. Oftentimes, we need to leap to the next thing in order to take us to the next thing. So that's number 2, is to just be here now and do the next thing. Do that next aligned action. And for those of you listening who are in Freedom Embodied Academy, you already know what some of those aligned actions are, some of those daily practices are that are already supporting you in getting grounded and getting connected. And so I'm speaking to you too. And I want you to also really take this to heart. And don't worry about all the stuff that's coming. Just really, really be here now. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is to reaim the game. So what do I mean by that? Reaiming the game. So often we're thinking of, okay, I need this, I'm doing something for a particular outcome, or we have this like attachment to, I don't want to let those people down, or I don't want them to be disappointed, or I want them to like me, or, I just want to do it right, or I'm a perfectionist, or I need everything to be a certain way for me to be okay. And we have this like attachment to how things should be or to what the outcome is. And when we get so focused on our agenda of what we think we need in order to feel okay, I want you to listen to this. When we get attached to our agenda of what we think we need in order to be okay, we absolutely detach ourselves. We disconnect ourselves from our authentic nature. We disconnect ourselves from our aligned selves. We disconnect ourselves from that very experience of being present with the moment by moment unfolding of life, because now we have an attachment to an outcome. And that will keep us staying up late, not getting enough sleep, turning ourselves inside out. I mean, I don't think that there's one mom out there who can't relate to what I'm talking about, not to mention all the other folks out there who don't happen to be moms, being able to relate to this. I know that for me personally, I used to do this with work all the time. I did this in every area of my life. I did this, but and this pressure that we put on ourselves. And so this key number 3 is, what if we're re-aiming the game? What if it's not about achieving a certain outcome? What if it's about who you get to become on the journey, in the process, in the discovery of all of it? This is so, so big. This is so, so important, because one of the biggest things that I see holds us back, that keeps us really stuck, that keeps us stuck from moving forward, that keeps us stuck in our sabotage patterns, that keeps us playing small, is that we are so linearly attached. We've got these blinders on about what our agenda is and how we think things should be. And we lose the rest of our lives. We lose the rest of the story. And I speak with so many people, and they're like, oh, I have this beautiful life. I've got these beautiful people in my life. I've got all this stuff to be grateful for, but I'm not present for it, or I can't fully appreciate it, or I don't feel fully deserving it because we've got all these attachments and things that are going on. And so what if, instead of it being about getting somewhere, what if it was about the journey of who we're being along the way? And this brings me to the golden nugget that I want to share with you, because this is what I feel like, if you can live this way, if this can be a theme or a mantra for you this year as you move into 2019, it's going to completely transform your life experience, because it's transformed my life experience. And this is what it is. And you might have heard me say this before, because I have this written everywhere, because it's, I don't know, people quote me in this all the time. But freedom is not a destination, right? Freedom is a vibration. It's not about getting somewhere. There is nowhere to get to because you're already there. But we're so obscured by all of our stuff and all of our patterns and all the things that are detracting us from just being able to be right here, right now, and be okay being us. That what we're really here to do is to slough off all those things that are standing in the way of us just being able to shine so brightly as the authentic beings that we truly are. And so freedom is not a destination. The outcome is not what we're trying to get to. We are trying to get to who we are going to become. It is all about the vibration. You know, you think about Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, and The Wizard of Oz starts out black and white, right? That movie starts out black and white. And then as she comes into the fullness of who she is, as she gets more present to this, as she expands and reintegrates into her heart and her own courage and her own mind, right? Instead of the sabotaging mind, like, oh, if I only had a brain, it's like, no, she comes back into an aligned mind where she realized that she had it all along, and she comes home to herself, right? These are all symbolic things that happen in The Wizard of Oz. And what she gets to is she gets to a life of technicolor. She gets to go from a black and white world to a life of technicolor. And each one of us have the capacity to do that if we just implement these three tools. If we're able to just go from our head, go from all of that thinking of what we think we need to do, get into our bodies, be here now, do the next thing that is laid out right in front of you, and that will take you to the next step. And as you are in that exploration of being in your body and doing that next thing that's right in front of you, you get to reaim the game and not try to push your agenda along, because the chances are is that it's actually not even the highest vision for you, that there is something that is so much greater for you to be able to access. But as long as you're like essentially telling God what the game plan is, you know, then it really limits our options. And so when we're able to soften and open and receive, it's incredible how we can reorient to a life that is so much more enriching, a life that is truly, truly technicolor. So I hope that that was supportive for you today. If this rang true for you, or if you resonated with it, please definitely share this with a friend who you think could use this message. And I would love to hear from you which of these three keys was the most valuable for you. I would love to hear what your biggest takeaway was from today. And again, if you want those 5 top presence practices, just put presence in the comments. I'm happy to send you that link. You can download that, you can print it out, you can have that with you, and that can just support you on your path today and every day. So again, thank you so much for taking this time out and sharing it with me. It was an honor to be here with you, and I'll connect more with you next time. Bye for now. Mwah.